Welcome, guys.
Hi.
We have the marble challenge, and this one is quite interesting, and it's also quite emotional.
Yes.
So I'm sure you guys might have seen our previous video. If you haven't, we actually talk about how the selection process of the marble challenge was quite interesting and also quite calculated.
Yes.
So for the marble challenge itself, most of the people are actually going with friends, and this makes things extremely hard and difficult for most of them. And here we're gonna briefly talk about the few types of challenges and how we try to win if it's us playing the game.
Okay. Yeah.
So there's two type of marble challenge most of the time. One is physical, and it depends on your physical abilities to coordinate how to throw the marble. The other one is more strategic. It depends on your logistic and also gaming. Not gaming, like mental ability to be strategic and calculative to win other players through the mind. Most of the players decide to do a physical one through
Yes.
throwing the marble,
Yes.
and many of the groups tend to have a fairly good game. Even Mr. 382, who became very defensive team against the girl who's a little deaf because she was explaining her situations.
Yes.
But in the end, they had a fairly okay game.
Yes.
So my first question, Yunie,
Yes.
if you were in a marble game, which game would you prefer? Which game would you nominate? And would you go with other person?
I think the physical one is the most straightforward one, but then it can't guarantee that I would win because I'm not really a physical person. But then the strategy one, I'm not the smartest one as
Oh,
well.
it's okay.
So this one will be very hard for me.
So the first thing, if I was in the marble game, or if I was in the Squid game and got to the marble stage, knowing that I qualified for the Squid game, I would have gotten myself some marbles, actually practice a bit of the throwing game, or maybe practice a bit of the strategy game.
Yes.
The strategy games are come up with strategies and come up with routine solutions like chess games, and you remember different moves to beat the other player. But knowing that most of the players will prefer a throwing game, I've actually practiced my throws and getting used to the weight of the balls, the marble balls, so that when I'm playing the game, I have more advantage. A lot of the players is first time throwing the marbles, but if you know you're gonna be in Squid game and this game is likely gonna be in the game, you should physically practice and prepare yourself. You can even practice
yeah.
throwing into the containers, practice throwing into the
Yeah.
circles, because
Yeah.
there's no stopping you. You can practice in your backyard.
Yeah.
So practice makes perfect.
Yeah, you're
That's a really
right.
smart
Yeah.
strategy,
Okay, in this
right?
case, I will pick the physical one.
Yes, and you can practice a lot.
Well, actually, if you go with a strategy one, you can practice too with your friends.
Exactly, that's what I said. You practice both. And
True.
you can nominate both, and you can think of solutions and ways to beat the other player.
Yeah. So with the strategy one, if besides the one guessing the odds and the even number, what type of strategy that we can play with marbles?
So let me just quickly get to the point which the other person.
Oh, I was saying that with the strategy one, there is this guessing odd number and even number.
That's right.
And is there any other strategy one that you can think about?
Oh yeah, definitely. You can come up with any games you want. But
Yeah.
the problem with strategy games is if you propose a strategy game, the
Yeah.
other person will be very defensive because they think you have no advantage of the game. So they probably wouldn't take the strategy game. And that was the case
Right.
between those two players. I think it's 399 here with 065. He was refusing to play any strategy games, and she only wanted to play strategy games.
Yeah.
I agree with him because any strategy games that she come up with, it's likely she have no any advantage or tricks to it. So it's
Right.
more fair for him to play a throwing game. But turns out they waited too long, and they both were very defensive and very centered to themselves. They refused to, give in.
Yes. Well, if it was you, what would you do?
I'll give in and at least have a chance of playing the game. But I think I'll stick to him a little bit. But he was very too defensive. I think he should convince her to play the throwing game and
Yeah.
not take too long, but rather it's more direct. You know, the two guys who just throw one marble?
Yeah.
They were trying to throw all the marbles in 2 minutes, and there's no way they can do it.
Yeah.
And one thing I want to mention about this kind of marble games is that you tend to want to be the person that proposes a game if you can, because if you propose a game, the other person might feel like, oh, like maybe they got advantage of me. So you want to get the other player to be a little nervous or emotional. Once they're more nervous and emotional, they tend to perform a little less, less optimal, and they might make more mistakes like throwing offhand, throwing on the wrong way. So it's a lot of mind games.
So you think if you were in the game,
you want to intimidate the other player.
You will propose the throwing game?
I'll propose both. It was like we can play a strategy game or we can play a throwing game. And, you decide and let them make the decision. And then I was like, okay, you decide which game we play and let's set the rules. Because if they feel like they made the choice of deciding which type of the game to play, I'll get to contribute on setting the rules to get into a game that I have practiced a lot in. I'm so evil.
Yeah.
I'm just good at talking. I'm not really good at games. I'm very good at theory crafting. So let me know what you guys think about it. It's quite interesting. And we're having a lot of fun watching Squid Games. And I think it's the game and the human nature and also the competitiveness in me really wants to share everything I want to know.
Like in this game, I think I really like the mother and son combination. Yeah, even though the mom didn't really let the son win. They tried their best in the game, but then at the end they had a hug and they kind of like got teary. I actually got teary there. Yeah.
You know one thing I wanted to say?
Yeah.
I like the spirit of the competitive spirit of the mom and the son. I think she might even let him win a little bit at the end.
Really?
Because I think she said, she threw back a little bit. But I don't think it's probably on purpose. But still.
I think she tried her best.
She respected him because she tried her best. And he was happy and sad at the same time. That's how we play games too. And you're like, how come you never let me win? Because I feel like just like the mother and son, it's more respectful and, to try our best to give you a more gratifying win. But you're like, how come you don't let me win? I get you back. Because there was a video before, if you guys remember. Yunie was like,
No, I actually get used to that part of you. I was just surprised that sometimes you were just so serious and didn't let me win a bit while you kept winning.
Okay.
Yeah, but in this group, usually I think if people coming to this game, they will come with friends, maybe their partner. But this guy, he came with his mom. I think they have really very strong connection.
It's a nice bond. I'm really happy for them. So let us know your thoughts, guys, about the marble game in the comments below. And how would you solve the marble game? And how would you prepare for it? Matt's pretty smart. I should be a coach for Squid Game Season 2. Okay, see you guys.
See you guys.